We're good.
Not pregnant!
Netflix's latest original movie Look Both Ways has a relatively simple premise. A young woman finds herself at a crossroads and two different lives spread out before her. This is a concept that has been explored across various mediums, and arguably for good reason. It's an enticing prospect, imagining all the ways a person can be affected by certain moments or decisions. However, Look Both Ways, directed by Wanyuri Kahiu, doesn't chase this idea to its fullest potential. Though leading lady Lily Reinhardt does her best, Look Both Ways struggles to make a lasting impact with either of its dueling timelines. Aspiring animator Natalie Reinhardt is on the verge of graduating from college and moving to Los Angeles when a potential life change stops her short. A recent, ill-considered hookup with her good friend Gabe, Danny Ramirez, might have gotten her pregnant. From there, two paths unfold. In one, Natalie is pregnant and puts LA aside to raise her child alongside Gabe in Texas. In the other, motherhood isn't in the cards, and she gets to jump right into her career alongside BFF Kara, Aisha D. As both Natalies live out their lives, it becomes clear that some things are genuinely meant to be, regardless of prior circumstances. Kahiu, working from a screenplay by April Prosser, kicks off Look Both Ways with a few effective tricks. As Natalie's pivotal bathroom moment plays out, Kahiu stages both versions of Reinhardt's character side by side, fully highlighting how the pregnancy, or lack thereof, lands. The camera gliding across the room from a relieved celebration to a more sobering realization makes an impact. From there, Kahiu keeps this going with differing glimpses of Natalie leaving college behind, occasionally interspersed with animation. Editor Brad Leach seamlessly cuts between the brighter shots of Natalie heading off to LA with Kara and the more subdued scenario of her going in the opposite direction with Gabe. It might be worthwhile to mention that Look Both Ways initially has a rather negative outlook on Natalie's surprise pregnancy, though it does balance the scales later on. However, as the movie settles into its two separate rhythms, the initial charm wears off. There's a lack of urgency surrounding the plot, which could be attributed to either drowsy pacing or simple staging. Each step in Natalie's two journeys feels placed out of obligation, rather than because it is a vital part of the story. Each arc is predictable as well, but that isn't necessarily a bad thing. There's something to be said about a familiar story told well. However, with Look Both Ways, there is a distinct sentiment of missed opportunity. Kahiu and Prosser could have used Natalie's opposing lives of motherhood and a, supposedly, grueling career to really push the character into unique situations. Natalie remains rather one-note, though, and the supporting cast of characters around her are even less defined. That is not due to any faults with the cast. As Natalie Reinhardt, best known for playing Betty Cooper on the CW's Riverdale, successfully slips into both versions of the character. Whether she is crying on the couch while overwhelmed with the demands of being a mom or valiantly pushing through a creative setback, Reinhardt handles every aspect of Natalie with ease. Ramirez brings a sweet earnestness to Gabe that makes him endearing, and Dee is delightfully charming as Kara, though one really wishes she had gotten more to do. As Natalie's parents, Andrea Savage and Luke Wilson are equal turns funny and warm, and David Corenswet gives a solid turn as Natalie's co-worker turned love interest. Finally, Nia Long gets in a fun role as Natalie's mentor Lucy. However, most of the supporting performances need to put in the extra work to give depth to their characters. Look Both Ways has its charms, but ultimately it plays out in just the way one would expect. With a certain element of excitement missing, the film misses out on some of the joy that typically comes from a slice-of-life tale like this. Those who are drawn to simple, light-hearted movies might find some comfort in Natalie's story, and with Reinhardt at its center, this is bound to draw in an audience. However, there is little in Look Both Ways that is bound to stick with viewers long after the credits roll. Thanks for watching and subscribe for more.